So right now we are going to see what we're going to talk about. So we are with the welcome. We're going to do some introductions. Then we're going to talk about what is ventures, what is future, and then we're going to present our panelists. And after that, we're going to have a discussion with our panelists. We can do some Q&A. And after that, you're going to have a time so you can ask. And then we're going to close our session and we can go eat. To start, who are we? Ventures. We work with working families, Latinx com so we are working toward an economic future together. We are working for a better where our zip code, race, gender, immigration do not dictate income or wealth. So what is futuro? So the goal of futuro is to create a vehicle of wealth for the Latin workers for low income in the area of Monterey. From the counties of Santa Cruz, Monterey, and San Benito, they prioritize women and immigrants. Futuro is one of the programs that have among the different programs that we have. We have programs that are called A las Familias con Más Futuro and Undocufied, and all have the same goal to help the family prosper in our community and progress. But they're all different. Some focus more in family finances, others focus more in like children's banking account to create a savings account for studies. And Futuro is a program that is going to focus on co-ops. So today, I want to take some time to present our panelist, Angelica Flores. We had another panelist, but she wasn't able to participate due to her schedule. But we have Angelica Flores. And can you please introduce yourself? My sad, I'm alone with another panelist, but I'm so excited to be here. A little bit under the weather. I'm just tested post-COVID, post-positive, so I'm gonna take some spaces to breathe and drink some water. As Brando said, I'm Angelica Flores, and I am one of the three founders of the co-op, De Colores. We are a consulting co-op. I live in San Jose, California. We're here, and our services are not only in the Bay Area. I'm Mexican. I'm immigrant that lives in the United States, and I've lived here since I was a teenager. I have three teenage children, and I have been a promotora organizer and also a promotora that has been supporting the process of pandemic. During the pandemic, I was working with a relief program. We have a co-op and it includes facilitation of workshops, some sections of outreach for some clients, and a wonderful program that came up during the pandemic that are technology workshops in Spanish with the methodology of theory, live demonstration, and at least 30-40 minutes of practice. Well, we were founded in 2019, at the end of 2019. This is our fourth year, fourth year, and we're still three. trying to grow our base, but at this moment we are still uh, um, are trying to get our to have to be able to receive more people by strengthening our foundation. And I'm so excited to be here. I When we started the Colores, I knew about you when we started with the Colores, and I love being in contact with you. I just remembered that I didn't introduce myself. I'm Brando Sencion. I am Director of Futuro here in Ventures. And with me, I have Odalis y Kaila. And if you want to take a moment, Odalis and Kaila, so you can introduce yourself, and we work with Ventures. Adelante. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Kaila Gomez. I'm sorry I don't have my camera. It's not really working right now, but I'm the coordinator of advocacy and ventures. And if you need anything or you have any questions that I can help you with, I'm going to put my contact in the chat. But thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Angelica. I'm sorry that you're not feeling well, but thank you so much for being here. Mm. Hi, my name is Odalis, and I am a program assistant in Venture. I'm also going to put my contact in the chat. If there's anything you need, I'm here. I'm sorry I don't have my camera open, but I'm here. Thank you. As I said at the beginning, we're going to start with a panel, and I'm going to ask questions to Angelica. And then afterwards, you're going to have an opportunity to ask questions directly. Anyone, if you have a question, please feel free. If you have questions about co-ops or anything you have in mind. So the first question is, why did you decided to become a worker member in a co-op? Thank you so much, Brandon. I was reading the questions, and for me, I think this first question is great. And I also made me think on the second one. How did you start or get involved with the co-op? I would like to start with that one so we can connect with the next one. Would that be fine? Okay. So how I got involved in a workers co-op. 2017, I was I was working in a restaurant. I decided to quit and I said, I'm not going to work in a restaurant ever again. I was very tired. It wasn't something that I liked, and I felt that it wasn't a great job. So I was a volunteer in an organization. They started talking about co-ops. So I was like, what is that? How can you, where's the trick? It's just too good to be true. How can you have a business with responsibilities and they're not going to, there's no issues with your immigration status. You're going to be protected. I was like, I couldn't believe it was too good to be true. And I thought there was a scam. There's something, it's too good to be true. So we were very lucky that we were supported for a nonprofit for training. So most Mayfair here in the east of San Jose supported us. And that's when we started to show us the co-op model. It's not new. We're just going back to our roots. And personally, never I have thought to have a business, be a business owner. For me, it was a big risk. So we were promotoras that we did all the work. It was free. And this is an opportunity to create a business and to be able to get paid for what we already knew how to do. For me, that was extraordinary. So that's what took me to the point that I really wanted to become a member of the co-op, knowing the model of what a co-op is. And well, I got involved to answer the other question, and my involvement was learning from zero. 2017, I started learning. So when we finished 2017 in December, we had a legal co-op with 22 to 23 associates of members. If I don't, it was the first co-op that I founded. Months after, me and other two peers, we left the co-op. It was a big membership. So we decided some of to leave that co-op and we formed our own co-op. It's called De Colores. I love that story. It is something very, it's risk. It's a risk to start your business and not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow. Where is this money gonna come in? But yes, it is something that once you get established, it's something that gives you so much satisfaction. And if you can do it with other people that are gonna support you, that is great because you won't do it alone. Sorry, just to add a little bit. Also, we were working without getting paid for a while. Mine, we were getting legalized. We did have expenses, and even though we don't didn't have resource, but we knew but we had what we know. At that moment, it was more than enough. I think that should not really stop you. So I'm gonna ask you the next question. How did you build the co-op model in a more inclusive workplace and more democratic? Thank you. I think that is a very good question. The model of co-ops and co-op workers, it's a more inclusive workplace. It doesn't matter your immigration status because in California, there's not a law that says that being a person without legal status, you can't have a business. So we're an LLC up to now, and that protects us. So for me, a way that can be inclusive, it doesn't matter your immigration status because maybe you're a person that has a lot of abilities, but because of your immigration status, you don't have anything else to do but to work at a restaurant. And that's not something you love to do. So for me, it is inclusive with a status. And I feel also that they're not going to be reviewing if you finish the college. It's good to it's if you finish in in your own home country, or that your study has been based in a lot of experience as a volunteer or as a mother or in a school or in an organization, and your experience is based on being a field worker where you know how to plan, how to you know everything about harvesting and why you're the people that takes less income to your home, and you're the one that works the most and knows the most, but you're the one that gets paid the less. So this is inclusive in education also. It's inclusive and democratically talking and makes me think about decision making. For example, I have three teenagers of my own. They're the youngest one is not a teenager yet. So I do my monthly, weekly schedule after I drop off my kids and I do an hour of exercise. After that, I do work. I stop to do, I can stop to cook, to pick up my kids, and then I go back to work. Some people that sometimes I'm working very, very late because I have to manage a business, but I'm not even tired. I'm so excited of working on my own business and doing what I love. So democracy, you can see it in the days that we want to work. I don't want to work this Monday. I want to work Saturday and I'm going to work on Sunday. I'm going to go on a vacation with my family. This week I'll get organized. So I will not put any work on my agenda. So I see that from a point of view that there's a lot of liberty in my schedule, and from the perspective of a person that is challenging the system. I am saying I need to have an hour of exercise in the morning. I need to go pick up my kids and cook for them. I need that you pay me because I have a lot of knowledge. I have a lot of value, and that's what I need to get ahead. So the democracy is not only in the small decision making that we have in office or not, it also comes in decisions that are labor related and care and financial. Thank you. I know we didn't ask you, but if you can answer it in the best way you can. But something came to my mind when I was in a co-op is is it going to be two or more people? What happens when there's a problem? Or, for example, you have to vote about a situation. How do you do that process when there's conflict or you have to make a decision? That is a great question. And if you would have asked it to Angelica 2 years ago, you would have had a totally different answer. We are in our fourth year. So our processes and our decision making that I call it our foundations are getting stronger. Why? Because they're at the beginning we didn't have we have more needs and more disagreements are up. There's less work done at the beginning, so there's more, so we don't have all the processes. But as I put it in the same way, a year ago, we didn't have any problem dividing the work because there was so much work. But now there's less. We're in a recession, even though there hasn't been said, but we're in a recession. There's three people that are working. So now we're developing a process, and there has been some, I had to work, but you have done more, but I've done less. What process can we implement? So we always listen, we review the numbers, and then we review our family situation of each one of us. For example, one of our peers, we have a partner, the other one doesn't, but she also doesn't have small kids. I have three small kids. So we put all of that into perspective and we consider them. So through conflict right now, I think haven't had like a real conflict that requires I don't know, maybe to bring, because if we always want to bring, have an intervention or somebody to come in like a mediator or a process, a policy that helps us with this process or that avoids that type of conflict. So just a summary, as I was saying, in the past, we have not had the conflict of work. And not only conflict, but need. So now three people are interested in working. There wasn't a process. So we have to create a process. We have to deliberate and I think as a value, if it's good for you, it's good for me. It's not always going to be in agreement, but if it's for the bigger good or the common good, so we're going to continue moving forward. And a lot depends on the type of decision. If it's a decision that involves maybe money or that is putting our values of work to work with a person, definitely. These are things that we're not even going to talk about. We're going to reject it. We're not even going to talk about it. It's a no for our co-op if it goes against our values. So it all depends. But I think that disagreeing is healthy because it helps us develop process and to strengthen our base and also our relationship with our worker members. So for me, it's always an opportunity. I also wanted to ask you that because it just came to my mind. I know that sometimes we are thinking in all the positive, but but sometimes there's the hard decisions, or you want to work with somebody that's hard. So, so we have to see how we manage the situation. But I love your answer. And now there are questions, and we're going to answer them in a moment. Thank you so much, Dr. Anna. But if you give us a moment, and then we're going to answer the questions. There's going to be There's going to be time for that. The next question is, what way do you promote the the distribution of income and a decent salary? Yes, thank you. I think a value that all co-ops have in the membership, it's very, very similar. Unless the member decides that he doesn't. If the member decides that I can't work, it's fine. It's always checking if they're available to work, if they're willing to work. We always take different type of jobs that allows everyone to win. There's two things that happen. For example, in my co-op, we have our work. What is our pay? That, for example, it's a payment after all the thing. And that, to be, we have to save to pay our taxes, and that's painful. Taxes is always painful. But at the end of the year, and if there is profit, so we share the profits. And if there is, we have to be able to share profits. And in our way, we do it three ways. In the co-op that was before, it was based in the amount of hours that you would work. So if you worked more, and it's fair, you had an income, and okay, you had a bigger income than another person compared to another person. So I hope I was clear with the answer. I hope everybody understood it well. Oh, I can't hear you. Another question. How do you decide? Is it in your bylaws, or all of you get together in the co-op? So we decided from the beginning, and it's our operative agreement. And we also have to have a policy, the distribution of profits. It has to have a policy. We didn't even know. We have it in the operative agreement, and the accountant says, so you shared. Where's the policy that said that you're going to share profits? Oh, we didn't know that. So we're always learning new things. And it's kind of like a child. They're always saying what to do. But yes, because we share the profit at the beginning, it's something that we discuss, and it's an agreement, and we have it in our operating agreement. Thank you. Another question. What are some of the ways that the co-ops, workers co-ops, create decent jobs? I know that you talked about it a little bit in the answers, but of course. So quality jobs, I can put an example, like a fast food restaurant. Who does all the labor? An employee. Who earns less? The employee. And one person in their home, I don't know in which part of the world, is just receiving a big amount of money because it makes me think, if you know how to do the burger, how to make it to the sauce, why you're not the owner of that business? Why you're not the owner of the restaurant, or why you're not receiving enough income. So for me, in my point of view, it's you have to challenge the system with a co-op. You generate work that makes you happier. Most of us are working in things that we like. We're doing that. So it also makes me think in the way that you decide to work, in the way that you decide how to administer yourself, and the involvement with the people that are around you. It is a great responsibility. Each thing is a responsibility. You have benefits, you have a responsibility, but I do promote personally, if you are painting homes, if you're doing landscaping, talk with your co-worker, go and do what you love, and you're going to have a fair income. And talking about different types of work, what type of business can be workers' co-ops? Are some better than others? If there's a other type of business that can, well, to up to now, we have not heard that it can be a co-op. If you are in this industry, of course, most co-ops are businesses that involve taking care of the environment, worker well-being, collective well-being, where you're not exploiting, and you're not killing, where you're not destroying. So the values of a co-op are clear. It's collective, it's the care and well-being and the collective. Maybe if you're doing like drilling in the earth or throwing chemicals to the ocean, maybe you shouldn't be a co-op. But that I know of, we don't have this, that we can do something to see the difference. We are an LLC. It's a business model in California with co-op values. To be registered as a co-op legally in the United States, all the membership has to have a social security that is valid. With an LLC, you don't have to have it. For me, that was to be able to find the difference. And you can perfectly create a business and work as a co-op with co-op values with a membership of 2 or 3 more people. And in Spain, there's many co-ops of 1,000 members. So it's not necessarily that I would say that one way is better than the other. No. So any business can become a co-op. You just have to have the co-op values correctly. Thank you. And I also wanted to ask something, and I don't know if you're going to know, but I hope you have an idea. Right now, you said to be an LLC, you don't need a social security. Can you tell us a little bit if you know different people that had an ITIN, or the people that know who an ITIN is? It is a number that the government or the IRS gives you so you can pay taxes. And that number can be used for different, for example, to open a business, to get a loan. It's kind of like an LLC, like a co-op. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because before this conversation, I don't know if you're on Zoom, there are people that feels a little bit that they're a little bit afraid of the process. And if you can talk a little bit about that, and if you know about experiences or different, please. So when the 20 people that were learning about co-ops and we formed the first co-op, the the people that were training us suggested, because you're a lot try that there's a few people with a social security number. So just to avoid any type of issues, but it is not like it hasn't been a barrier. When we got registered, the organization articles and the bylaws, first we did with an I-team, and then we put a social security. So in our case, we haven't found an obstacle. There's two associates that have an IT and one that has a social security. But at the beginning, we were three I teams. So the status of one person changed. So it hasn't been a barrier. And the other thing that made us feel a little bit distressed has been the banks. Some banks, when you register a business with an I team, they make you sign. I don't remember the document that we had to sign. We didn't feel comfortable, and we were a few months with that bank. Then we decided to go to another bank. No, why are they asking us sign so many documents as if we were working in the out of the US, so or abroad. But for now, we haven't had any obstacles with the IT or with the language. The three us members, we were born and raised. The three of them are Mexican. We have learned the language and we're learning the language. We don't talk perfect English. Our clients talk English. So that has not been a barrier. So let's not be afraid. Let's just, another question. And then we're going to open up for the community to ask questions. What support or recourse of resources are for available for the people that are interested in joining a co-op? There's a lot of support. There's so many help. Us, as I mentioned it at the beginning, we were not getting paid. We didn't have money, to be honest, to pay lawyers so they can review our operating agreement, lawyers to help us to submit some paperwork. We did not have somebody, we didn't have money to pay to someone that would help us and say, hey, it would be good for you to have this system of the or this finance, or you have an accountant, or give us advice. So we were looking for resources through Prospera from Oakland. It's a great resource. They connect you with other organizations. This other organization that's called Small Think Big. Start small, think big. They have lawyers. They have people that do marketing, that do logo. They this made this wonderful logo, and they did our web page. They also helped us. They gave us advice, everything free. Of course, we had to fill out some applications, and also those organizations have told us, hey, you can come and give a workshop. Can you help somebody to do this? Why? Because they have supported us and we have supported them. And that's one of the co-op values. Always going back, always supporting. A co-op, us, the Colores, Meta, other co-ops, I am sure that you can ask and they can be a great resource to help the community. Thank you. And also ventures. It's also a resource. We also here are going to be a resource for everyone. So keep that in mind. If you're on the Central Coast, we are going to be a resource if you are interested. So we're going to start with questions from the community. We have 2 questions in the chat. I'm going to start with the first one, and it is about conflict. The question is, So those conversations, do you bring somebody from the outside, an external mediator, or just when there's conflict? So up to now, we haven't required any mediator for to this day, but and maybe I think one of the values that they presented when we were learning about co-op, it what is healthy and it's good to bring somebody for an external if we're having conflict, if we're not understanding each other. We need somebody to balance the conversation or even help us to guide it. We were many in the co-op. It was hard to agree with things that are very, very small. And yes, we had one person that would help us, not necessarily to mediate, but to model our meetings, to have a model a lot of things. But also, we had a bigger membership. I hope I answered your question. Yeah, it's not like it's not always necessary. And if it would be necessary, it is going to be a big problem between a small group. But what you're saying is when it's a big group, sometimes it is necessary to have this person. Yeah, that was my personal experience. And and maybe we might need it in the future and we're going to use that resource to look for somebody that can help us to have better communication like a marriage counselor. I hope not. I hope everything continues well. Another question. What is a co-op? Somebody asked. I love that. And I love that you're asking that question. Yeah, what is that? So, as I said, co-ops are businesses, are collective businesses that are formed with two or more people. And then you consider yourself as a co-op. It could be legally a co-op in the United States. Sometimes the barriers with that is you have to have a social security. All the members have to have you can also be a business with co-op values. What does it mean? That we're more than once, we collaborate and we work together, we administrate, and not necessarily do we have employees. There's not a single co-op that I know that they're employees. All of our member owners are workers. All they help with the administration of the business. Of course, in our case, our democracy is divided in committees, and we're four committees: human resources, finances, contracts, and marketing. And personally, I assess finances. There's two big roles, and I love it. Co-op, we are we have different committees that are member owners. There's no employees. Thank you. And if you can talk a little bit about what do you mean when you talk about members? Can you clarify a little bit about membership? It is a way of calling the members. It is a way that you call members a membership. I don't know. I don't know. I thought about when they said members, I would think about a gym membership or something like that. But I discovered as a way call, to name the group. We call them members of the co-op. And the members are owners. Yes, we're owners. Yes. Somebody else has a question? You can unmute and ask. Or you can write it in the chat. Go ahead, Anna. Ye- There is a membership fee. Our initial fee was, I think it was $500. I don't even remember. And then for co-op, it was like $25. Yes, there is a membership fee. Yes, there is money that you have to, and the moment that you live, they give it back. I'm not gonna say it that no in the operating agreement they can say that we're gonna give it in 15 days or the same day you leave. In our process for a new uh member has to also give the membership fee and you decide if it is a like for example the first co-op we talked about it. It is just like a symbolic fee. In the colores we decided to be a little higher because we didn't have no capital at all and we had to cover some expenses. Thank you. Can you repeat the name of the business where they helped us with the logos? Start small, think big. Start small, think big. I'm going to put it in the chat. Where's that agency? They are in New York, but now I know that they have a office in San Jose. But when they were helping us, they were in New York. There was another person from Miami that also was helping us. So let's not limit ourselves with that. Yes. How many people do you recommend that be part of the co-op? Mm, Three. I think that should be three. But I'm going to say what I say. If you have three, have four. Because they're always going to, I have three children. There's always one that, so I can't really give a number, but I can say that a big membership requires to go slower. It's nice, but you have to go slower. In my personal experience with the first co-op, it was very, very hard to pass a policy, a process, and the meetings would never end. I don't want to go to that meeting because it was like so long. We're going to talk about it again next week. And I'm like, oh my God, no, I don't want to go to the same meeting again. So the bigger the co-op, it requires more managing, more processes, more policies, stronger foundation, and it's harder to reach an agreement. I think 5, 6 would be a better number. And I think it also depends on the type of business. For example, you have a big restaurant. Maybe you want to have a bigger membership. So, for example, it's a person that makes pastries. Maybe 2 or 3 would be enough. Because also the type of business is going to tell you how many people you might need. Thank you. Anybody else has a question or something that they want to clarify or share? Diana? Yes, thank you. I wanted to say that I have heard about co-ops a long time ago. In Santa Cruz, I coordinate promotoras. This group was formed with moms that we take our children to school and has been growing. Now we're working with a local clinic here in Santa Cruz and we're helping. I've never have thought about forming a co-op with a group of promotoras, as Angelica said. But if you know how to do that work and you're already doing it, why not just try it? But the problem here would be it's something new for other moms. But I have heard about it, but never about a person that's already doing it. First, to think it doesn't matter that you don't have status with the 18, because we know that status in it's really something. If you don't have a status, you think that you can't do anything. But as we said before, we want to get ahead. We want to do the work. We have the knowledge, but we don't have the support. It is kind of like it's like open our eyes a little bit and say, yes, we can do it. But the problem here is the trust that other people have. So, how did you do, Angelica? So, your membership would trust you. And what is the important part of saying, yes, I am the lead, although I know that the membership is the same. How was the day? How did you were able to get people to believe in you? I know it's a lot, and I'm babbling a little bit, but how did you make people trust you? We know the knowledge, we have the tools, we've been working for many years. Why not organize and to start to bring, put food on the table in our home? The first time that they talked about a co-op, I said a co-op of promotoras and they're going to pay you for whatever I did free. I never thought in my life that I was going to have a job. I love doing that type of work. I love being a volunteer. And I remember that there was a meeting. The organization brought people, and all of us were like, wow. I was a little doubtful too. I took my partner. He's always talking about business. And I told him, come on, come with me and hear and listen. I don't know. Is it like a pyramid scheme or something like that? No, it wasn't. As that I was, we were all we all were worried that maybe that this can take us to maybe we were exposing ourselves and we were not in a safe space, but the trust of people that have done it before, the support of groups that train you and tell you that it's not new, it's something possible, it's not a trap. And there has been so many businesses in all Latin America. It's new in the US, but in all Latin America, these type of business exist. These structures, these collective structures where all the members or the group, they're owners, they're workers. And I think something that happens a lot in this group, one of my associates, Lupita, she was one of the first people that was going to workshops and talking about co-ops. And I think that it happened. And it was like we would all turn to look at Lupita, and she was always like, we're going to see what we're going to do. We're going to be fine. So we trusted her a lot, and we trusted each other a lot. And 20 of us started, and the group started getting smaller. At the end of the day, the people that are going to stay are the people that really have that vision of being business owners and really work together. I hope I answered your question, and invite me to talk one day or invite us so we can talk with your group, and I would connect you with Prospera y Conventures. Yes, I think that we told us what a co-op, that they gave us a class, but there's nothing like the group hears from a person that is already advanced, And it's not like people that are just have the idea, but they're already implementing their ideas. So of course, Angelica, you put your contact. So yes, I'm gonna talk to the people that I work at the clinic, and I think it would be a great idea. Thank you. I also put my contact in the chat, and I'm going to put everyone's contact too. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we're going to offer the community where you can learn more. It's going to be 13 weeks of a course of co-ops, and where we're going to show you from the beginning to the end about a business in co-ops. So if there's interest, please stay. And I'm going to start with Marta, and then I have Maria, and then I have a Julisa. Hi, Marta. Hi, how are you? I'm so happy to say hi to you again. Brando, we met you in Santa Rosa, and also you. I went with Dr. Anna and another. We went to the meeting at Somos Mayfair, and we saw the work that you are doing. And we're very interested in that type of work because I have been promotor in the community. Unfortunately, I left my job because I didn't have a valid social security numbers. That affected about 13 people. Right now, we have a person that supports us and is helping us to create a co-op. It's Doctora Ana, and I'm so thankful because it's not many people that really worry because the people try to get ahead. Honestly, I'm very interested. I want to learn more about this. It is a group that besides I'm a promotora, I love helping the community. A lot of my peers, some are single mothers, and to see this, it really moves me to do something different. Oh, you already like walked ahead, so we can help them all a little bit more. Thank you so much, and I hope that we can be together soon. Congratulations, Martha. I know you're gonna be good and you're gonna be successful. Maria asked, I don't know if experience, but maybe knowledge. How how did you work with a budget, or there was an agency that helped financially so you can create your co-op? Thank you. I have two experience in the first co-op. We had an incubator that was almost Mayfair. So they helped us. They supported us with training, childcare. We've got training for many months, weekly, for many hours. They helped us to get work, jobs. They helped us to launch the co-op, to get an office. They would help us. Like, for example, the rent was 500. No, we're going to be able to give you 250 for 3 months. It's just an example. I'm not saying that that's the amount. With De Colores, no, nothing of money, just our experience and the help that Prospera gave us. Um, Center, all the organization that help businesses. It wasn't a financial way, but it was with resources. And there's space. There are places that there are resources, there are incubators. So you have to look for them so it's easier for you. Also, don't forget about ventures as an action, as a resource. We're working and how to be able to help the people that participate in our resources with our resources so we can help you open your own business. Keep us in mind as an option in the Central Coast. But yes. Any more questions? I'm gonna give you a moment more. Any questions? Angelica, do you have something that you want to share with us? Something that you think is important that we haven't talked about yet? I think that I have motivated. I'm a natural motivator, but it's a cliche. It's not a cliche. If I was able to do it, you can do it. If I was capable, you're capable. Possibly we can go a little slower, but we are going to. I mean, if you work with other people, you might go slower, but you're gonna get farther. Collective work is possible. They have made us believe that you have to do things by yourself. You make your own money and exploit. It's the best way to exist, but no, that's not true. Our ancestors, our culture, we have always worked, and it always has been together and in collaboration. My challenge for you is unlearn all those ideas that we have been brought up with no with the other things that we used to do. We used to think being individual, capitalism, planet destruction, that we're not connected. Of course, we are we complement each other and we need to be together so we can all get ahead. And above all, in these difficult times, it hasn't been easy. And if not because we had this business, if it's not because we're together with my one of them is good with the computer, the other is good doing the other thing, and we complement each other, we would have been able to create what we created. And that this is our fourth year. So collaboration, teamwork, and a business, it is possible. With more than one person, it is possible. So what is your business? We're a consultant. We develop, for example, resumes, workshops, trainings, pop, political education, popular education, technology workshops, helping our community in the pandemic. And now they pay us for do that. When we started to do it, it was just to support people. And also we do uh, health workshop. It's another thing that came up because of the pandemic. We have outreach with the community. We have also been able to do outreach with the community. And yeah, perfect. Any other questions before we continue? If you don't have any more questions, we are going to show right now. I'm going to share my screen. Give me a moment. So, thank you so much, Angelica. It was a very interesting conversation. I don't know how to. It's been inspirational, very interesting, and we learned a lot. You have so much knowledge. I'm gonna say it in English. And I loved it. Thank you for being here today. I am so grateful. I know that you're sick and you're still here. So that talks a lot about the type of person that you are. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone that you participated today. Your questions make the conversation better, in my opinion. We need the community to participate, always ask, because that is what is going to make us the opportunity to continue moving forward. So I wanted to ask one more thing. So we're going to have an evaluation about this panel, and I put the link here in the chat also. But if you can't see the chat, we have the link in the screen, bit.ly/eval525. And if you can take a moment and fill out this evaluation, I'm going to keep it a few minutes more, and then I'm going to put our information from Ventures, and Angelica put her information. Her email is, where do I, the Colores Consultant. I'm going to put it one more time so you have it, so you can see it. Can you see my screen right now? No, not anymore. So this is our information from our team here in Ventures, Brandon Sención, and we have Odalis Mendoza. And the last thing that I wanted to tell you is that I mentioned is that Futuro is going to start with some co-op classes. It's 13 sessions for people that are interested in creating a business as a co-op. If you're interested, please do the evaluation and please let your name and your information so we can contact you. I know that I have the contact of many of you that are here, but if you don't have it and you're interested, please fill out the evaluation and send me an email. If you want, I'm going to stay a little bit more and I can share my cell phone or any way to get in touch if the email is not easy for you. But if you're interested, we are also interested in helping you. So thank you so much for being here today. And I'm going to take a moment to stay here and please fill out the evaluation. We can talk a little bit more. I know you're in San Mateo, but we are interested in helping you with the training and whatever is possible. So we have to talk a little bit more. We can sit down and talk and try to see how we can find a way so we can help the co-op if we want to do it in San Mateo. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. This virus is making me feel very hot, so I'm going to sign off. Thank you for the invitation, Kyla, Brandon. Bye. Bye.